All right, guys, now let's talk about legs. And these are your largest muscle groups. There's a lot of different ways to train legs. Some of you guys may even just want to go out and do sprints, like 50 or 100-yard sprints, and do 10 to 12 of those, resting a minute in between. I find that's how I really hurt my lower back. So I have to be a lot more creative with herniated discs to avoid injury. Some of you may like the squat motion like this where you're real heavy, or the hang cleans where you're like this. Again, all that stuff for me is off limits because that's how I hurt myself. I couldn't work for 2 months. The leg press machines where you're like this and you're pressing, again, all of that stuff is off limits based on what my physical therapist said. So here's the exercises I use to avoid injury, but to still train these really large muscle groups for all of us. These are our largest. So the first would be, again, I'm going to warm up and stretch, 5 minutes or so. Here's some dumbbells. You could do step-ups like this, rotating each leg. These will get your legs on fire, doing this a good 10 to 12 each leg. A variation of this would be just basic lunges. You could step back, do the other leg. You can do it that way, or you can just come way back and find a long space and just do walk forward. And then you can turn around if you hit a wall and go back. Again, 10 to 12 reps per leg. These will also get your legs on, your heart rate going like crazy. A basic squat. I'm already breathing hard just demonstrating this stuff. Again, I have to be careful with this, but I find this exercise doesn't really aggravate me. So this is a 45, just squeeze it in, and just a basic squat. I find this is too light, but it's for some of you this may work fine. Another option, kind of advanced, would be one of those large medicine balls like this high, or this. One leg, you're balancing. Sit down gently. 10 to 12 of these per leg. These are pretty good. They're working the stabilizer muscles of the body. 10 to 12 of these per leg. Okay, so those are working the quads and the glutes. And for many of you, your glutes are weak if you have a desk job. So that's quads. Hamstrings, a basic one that I like. We'll adjust a little bit here. There's a couple options. I have to be careful also. I find when I'm on a machine that where you're like this and you pull the legs in, or when you're lying down and you curl like that. When I do that really heavy, it aggravates my back, so I don't do most of that. So here's 2 creative alternatives. This is gonna look funny, but it works the glutes and the hamstrings. The hamstrings are the back here. These are the ones that you hear sprinters pulling when they haven't stretched properly or whatever. I'm just gonna put weights on my upper hips like this. And it could be, I use 45s usually, and I just hold them in place, and you lay back, and you just bring the hips straight up, and you hold it, lower it down, hold it, lower it down. And again, this looks weird, it looks kind of goofy, but if you do this, and you have like a good amount of weight on your hips, you're gonna feel it, your hamstrings and your glutes really good. Another variation to this for your hamstrings would be what I call Supermans. I'll go like this so you can see. I'm going to put my right hand down, raise my left leg straight out, put my fist like this. And then I'm going to switch sides. It's good for balance, good for the glutes and hamstrings. And I'm going to suck the belly button up towards the ceiling when I've raised up like this. Exhale, suck the belly button up. So I'm also working the abs. You can do the same side where right hand, right knee is down, left leg, left hand, or you can alternate. Left hand's like this, right hand sticks out like this, whatever you want to do. Those are called Supermans. Another hamstring exercise would be, I didn't bring the medicine ball, but let's say I have some kind of a ball right here. I'd put my legs out and I would just roll my legs in. May have to demonstrate that one separate. Okay, lastly would be our calf exercises right here. What I like to do is put a dumbbell down, put a second dumbbell on top of it, hold a 45, have something to brace myself with, and then I actually like holding the weight on the same side as the leg, and just go down and up, nice and slow. 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps, 8 to 12 of those. Switch, 1 rep. All right, that's calves. Another variation on that would be a leg press machine, you know, where you're lying down and you're pressing like this, except just put the tips of your toes on there. For the most part, straighten your legs and just raise it up like that. And gyms have a lot of different calf machines. So pick one thigh exercise / glute, 1 hamstring, 1 calf. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm actually gonna go full intensity. I know the 30s work me good. So this will be live. I'm gonna go probably 10 to 12 reps, and you'll hear I'm breathing really hard. Again, not aggravating my back at all. I've done this for a long time. For me, it's totally safe. I'm just counting in my mind 4, 4, 4. You almost feel like you're running. This is so good for the heart and lungs, conditioning. You do this stuff week in and week out, you'll feel like you're in the best shape of your life. I think I'm around 8. Okay, so this is about 12. I'm capable of doing more than that. My heart rate's just really, really going right now. So I could probably go even heavier, but catch my breath for a second. Go right over here. No resting, we're not talking to our buddies. We're brief, we're intense. I'll just do 12. Okay, so I still wasn't close to hitting failure. That's why I said I normally do 45s. I'll end with calves. Actually, I'm remembering I need to teach you guys abs, which is normally what I do with legs. Forgot about that. Okay, so calves, 8 to 12 of these. You can hear I'm breathing pretty hard right now. Would have done 8 to 12 of those. Close to failure. Holding at 45. Another 8 to 12. Boom. Okay. Abs. Lots of options. I'm just going to jump right into it since I'm in go mode right now. Here's one of my favorites. I'll show it this way so you guys can see. You're supporting yourself with the left arm right now, straight out like this, leg up. Gonna work your obliques, which is your outer abs, and your hips. 8 to 12. Switch sides. This is another real good heart rate one, doing this. Great for balance, stabilization. 8 to 12. Okay. Another option, I'm going to go get the medicine ball and actually show you guys another good ab one. I'll come back to that in a second. If you can find an ab machine, what I would counsel you is for these crunch machines, don't go doing 50 crunches. You're going to go heavy, 8 to 12. You want to promote if you want 6-pack abs, these need to be developed. You're not going to do 8 to 12, or sorry, you're not going to do a zillion of these. You're going to go down, nice and slow. I'm not a huge fan of crunches because it's hard to get enough weight on there. But if you have a crunch machine, you have 100 plus 150 pounds. By that 8th crunch, you can barely do it. You know that you're working the ab muscles great. Okay, we'll pause. I'm going to get the medicine ball.